What up?
Yo, what's up?
Another episode of Bikini Bottom Banter, and if you notice, the audio sounds better. Yo, came back with a vengeance.
Yes.
All right, so I'm Jared Strand,
And I'm Ryan Keels.
and we're the host of Bikini Bottom Banter, a podcast show where we talk about our love for SpongeBob. In each episode format, we do episode agenda. We also name our favorite joke, what we would change in the episode, a meme-worthy moment. For this week's episode, we actually watched Bubblestand and Rip Pants. All right, so Bubblestand. SpongeBob has a free day off of work when he's not slaving away at the Krusty Krab.
Yeah, why isn't he at work?
Well, I think they established in continuity that the Krusty Krab is closed on Sunday. So maybe it was a Sunday morning or afternoon or something.
Okay.
And basically he decides to build a bubble stand. And this actually, I like the camaraderie whenever there's episodes where it's a SpongeBob, Patrick, and Squidward episode.
Yeah.
And Squidward has that little thing where he's like, I'm too good for this, man. Like,
Right, but he's really part of the group.
Yep, he knows. So basically, SpongeBob takes the time to, build a bubble stand. He's charging 25 cents. Patrick is his, customer that comes by. He wants to do bubbles, so he's blowing bubbles. It annoys Squidward. When Squidward, comes down, being Squidward, he's like, hey, you're childish what you're doing. But then when he's all by himself, he starts blowing the bubbles and he can't do it, and then he flips out on SpongeBob and Patrick. And again, that kind of ironic thing where he blows like this big bubble, gets a little cocky, ends up messing up his house.
Yeah. He went all the way up to the sky and then the bubble popped.
Fell down. He was like, it was a shame. So, what was your favorite joke in the episode?
My favorite joke is when SpongeBob keeps telling Squidward to do the technique to to blow the bubble, and then he finally does it, but then he's like he's screaming at the end. He's like, ah.
Yeah.
Ah. That's my favorite part of that episode.
Okay.
That's so funny to me.
So, I don't know. At first, we actually did, share a little story. We actually did a rewatch again because Keels was trying to find, what he would change.
Yeah. And
my original favorite joke was when Patrick's like, haha, it's a giraffe. Which, classic Patrick line.
Yeah.
But I changed it up in the one, so I'm happy that you chose to do that, Keels, because I changed my favorite joke to, it's so subtle. When Squidward comes down after the bubble goes into his house, and they're like, oh, Patrick and SpongeBob are in deep. Basically, he comes to, they hide behind the bubble stand when Squidward's coming down, and they just, seem close.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that. The comedic timing in it is just perfect. And then when Squidward's, waiting there, he's like, excuse me, sir, we are close.
He's like, don't get me any of that.
Exactly.
That's funny. That is funny.
It stole it. I was like, damn.
Okay.
All right.
What would you change about the episode?
All right. So easily the thing. All right. So I think that, and it's tough too because I feel like SpongeBob, especially season 1, the majority of episodes are pretty perfect. This is another episode where it's perfect. But if there's one minor nitpick that I would give, it's SpongeBob. It's a funny one. But SpongeBob is charging 25 cents for bubbles and bubble lessons.
Yeah.
In 1999, even with inflation, you are not making profit, my dude. Yo, 25 cents. And my wife was like, well, maybe he's charging that because that's what Mr. Krabs pays him. And I'm just like, listen, I don't know how SpongeBob affords his mortgage then with that pineapple.
Right.
He's over here charging 25, side hustling over here.
Gotta have a side hustle.
Side hustling over here with the 25 cents. But I think it's perfect, flawless, but that's a minor thing I changed. Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, mine is also minor. I just don't like, I don't like how Patrick was broke in the episode. He's like, he wanted to blow the bubbles, but he was like, I don't have a quarter.
You don't have a quarter, my dude.
Right, like, and then it's just like, you have a house. It's like, how you don't have a job? Like,
wasn't there an episode of SpongeBob we were watching, randomly once, where Patrick came in with like groceries and ice cream cone? But then in the next episode, he's like, I don't have a dollar. And I'm like, where does your money go? What do you do with it,
right,
Patrick?
So it's just like, dang, I hate that they had to make Patrick broke in this.
He's actually notorious for that. Like,
yeah, he is.
But I don't think, I think...
never could hold a job for long term.
You're right. I'm trying to... Didn't he work? He worked at the Krusty Krab a couple times.
A couple times. He got fired.
Damn.
Yeah.
How do you get fired at the Krusty Krab?
Fired that man.
Yo, Patrick. All right. So, okay. We're gonna get into it. Meme-worthy moment. All right, Keels, go ahead. Give because I know I'm gonna get hate for mine, but go on. Give me your meme-worthy moment. I'm gonna say why we disagree with it. Go ahead.
Okay, my meme-worthy moment for Bubblestand, it has to be bringing around town. The whole technique. First you do this and that. Stop on your right foot. Don't forget it. And then he blows the bubble, and then he's just bringing around town. Bringing around town. That is a classic moment. Classic.
Fair. All right. I disagree. I think it's classic.
Insane.
I know. All right, here's my thing.
Insane.
I think it's because, and I'm going to give a little backstory for it, because, everybody's different. When I first saw the episode, and I vividly remember this, Nickelodeon would play just that scene. So I think because I got so overexposed to it, it lost its luster. Like, it was just like when you have too much of a good thing, you don't appreciate it. But one small minor thing, this meme that I saw on like Facebook, where there's a scene where right before SpongeBob is like in the process of building the bubble stand, he's over here hammering and everything. Squidward calls him out, like, stop making all that racket. So he like hits the hammer, then looks up, then hits the hammer and then looks up. There's a meme where it's like, hey, when you're doing something wrong and you know you shouldn't be, but you're still doing it, or when you're with your significant other in your parents' house and it's just how you hit, it's like, I'm like, I don't know, that's just funny to me. That's just funny to me.
I mean, that definitely is funny, but there is just no possible way on this green earth.
Of course it's not better than that scene. Like, if people, I would put...
Bring It Around Town is a colossal moment in the show.
I would definitely put it in the top 10, like, most notorious SpongeBob moments, which actually could be an episode idea within itself. The top 10, like, what makes SpongeBob SpongeBob.
Yeah.
But I feel like number 1 is called for. It's where I'm ready. Like, it's just...
Yeah, for sure.
But, yeah. I mean, overall, yeah, so... Bubblestand down as a classic?
Yeah.
Hands down. All right.
Because of Bringing Around Town.
And other things.
No.
Yo. I mean, I feel like the best...
And the giraffe.
Again, it goes back... I have a tinfoil hat theory. I feel like some of the best episodes of SpongeBob, again, it's that camaraderie of the Patrick. Whenever you have an episode where Squidward... Yeah, when it's those three. When it's a Patrick, SpongeBob, and Squidward episode.
Yeah.
And
they are some of the best episodes.
Right. But there's like a thing where, like, in these episodes, You either have Squidward, who like is along with the gang, but his negative attitude of him being so more mature than them is the comedy. But then there's little things where, like some episodes where Squidward kind of goes on the same level as Patrick and SpongeBob, and he's having fun. Like, so in that case, that adds to the comedy, because remember how prideful he was getting and how cocky he was getting when it was like, yeah, I got jeans. It's in my jeans.
Squid's got jeans. And what's the name? Same thing with the imaginary box episode.
The imaginary. Oh, I was just about to say the imaginary box episode.
He wanted to join in.
Yep, and fun. Another classic. What is it? The town where it's all Squidwards.
Yeah.
And it's like, who wants to play with the reef blower? What happens at the end of that episode?
Yeah.
I love that episode.
What's another? The Magic Conch. The Magic Conch episode.
Another one. Yep.
Classic.
I'm telling you, some of the best episodes of SpongeBob have those three in it, and it's always that dynamic. And I think that's what kind of makes the glue. Because there's other characters in SpongeBob, but it's really those core three.
Wow.
And I feel like that's why their homes are all together and everything. Like more than just neighbors.
Yeah, right,
more than just neighbors.
Yeah, that's a good theory.
Right? All right. So then we also saw the episode Rip Pants.
Yes.
So many...
This 5-0 right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of, I've talked to a lot of people. I've noticed a lot of girls really love Rip Pants, and it's because of the song.
Yeah.
It's because of that and just the topic. I'm like, wow. But it's down as a classic. It's my wife's favorite episode.
Yeah. Everybody knows that episode.
Yeah, like it's just so the synopsis. So, again, going back to that callback where SpongeBob and Sandy are on the beach. Larry comes in and is like, oh, you want to lift weights? Obviously, SpongeBob is not the strongest in the sea.
Yeah.
But he can sure make somebody laugh. So he's like, oh, I'm going to rip my pants. He overdoes this joke to the extreme.
Yeah.
Leading to the cheapness. I don't know. I don't the cheesiness of Sandy. Your song is true. If you don't want to be my friend, just be yourself.
Yeah.
What after school special is this from?
See, this may be a hot take.
All right.
As far as the popular episodes, this is one of like my least. Like
really? Okay.
This is one of my least popular episodes, personally.
All right, that's fair. Why? So what? Why would you?
This is where they kind of like ramp up the fact that SpongeBob is annoying, and so he overdid it with the Rip Pants. They just overdid it, and honestly, that leads me into what I would change about the episode. It was just makes too many. Cut down on the Rip Pants.
Okay.
So sorry that I jumped the gun, but it was right there.
No, you're good. Because it relates to why it's not your favorite. I'm okay with it. It's fair. I kind of saw this episode. It's in the season 1 bundle, so I mean, it's like you can't really go wrong with seasons 1 through 3 with SpongeBob.
Yeah.
But I will say this: my thing, since you did yours, my thing that I would change. And I just noticed this as a character design.
Okay.
How is Larry the strongest in the sea? Right? He has the pecs. He has like that. Like I'm like, okay.
Right, the big
beefy and everything.
Yeah.
But his arms are so tiny. I think they're smaller than SpongeBob's arms. So from a geometrical standpoint, I'm like, his claws are so big, but his arms are so tiny, and you're looking at all the people, the whale and the freaking fish, going like buffing at the gym, and I'm like, okay, like they're big, but Larry, I'm just looking, he has these skinny legs, skinny arms. I would change the character design,
but
give him some arms.
But isn't that
the point?
Isn't that like realistic to real lobsters? Or in like crabs and stuff, like it's all about how big the claws are.
Yes.
Like all the power is in the claws.
True.
You know what I mean? And then, whatever their appendages or whatever look like, they could be skinny, they could be big, but like all that power, when they clamped
It's in
down.
the, oh,
It's in
yeah.
the claws.
All right, look, from the only reason why I'm like,
And then they do have small feet.
the feet I don't really mind. The legs and the feet
Or
I don't really
legs,
mind.
I mean.
But his arms should be like big. Like I'd be okay with a top heavy Larry.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. And yes, you're not wrong. From a biological standpoint, yes, a lobster is like that.
Right.
But how many sponges do you have that are in the sea? Like
they're
it's just,
in there.
the crazy thing
Sponges are in there.
all right, like you know how SpongeBob looks. How many square-looking sponges are in the sea? Because his parents, if you remember, his mom looks like a sponge. His dad looks like a sponge.
Yeah.
He came out squared.
Aren't there sea sponges?
There are sea sponges, but they're not like square. Like,
Oh well.
I mean, hey, by all means, if anybody knows any square, hey, share them with us on our Instagram page or TikTok. Call us out on this. Like, use the soundbite and call us out. Like, here it is.
Yeah.
But as far as I know, it's mainly based on a sponge. Like, it is. He is a sponge. But,
Yeah.
So that's the only thing I'd change. It's a minor thing.
Yeah.
But now that you're mentioning that whole, the annoying thing, it overkill, but that was the point of the story. So it's like, but what about favorite joke?
My favorite joke is the lifeguard scene.
All right, so we share that.
Yeah, because when he was,
Why?
he was like,
Why? He was staring.
yo, he was like, he was like, what do you need, boy? He was like, I need
over here looking
a tailor. And then everybody was like, oh, boo. And then his face, the lifeguard's face, yo, he was fed up.
Yup.
He was fed up.
That actually goes into my meme-worthy moment, hands down. That the lifeguard's face. If you haven't seen it, just type in SpongeBob lifeguard face.
Yo, he was so mad.
That face, I've seen that in so many memes. It's just like, damn.
Yeah, that is a low key meme, but it's a classic one for sure.
So that's your favorite joke. So we agreed with that being the favorite joke. And so for meme-worthy moment, was that your meme-worthy moment also?
No, it's got to be the song. It's the song at the end.
Ripped Pants, okay.
The Ripped Pants song is definitely the meme-worthy. Like, that lived on.
So it's funny that you mentioned the Ripped Pants song.
Yeah.
Because, they talk about the dude with the sand in his buns, the girl that has sunburn. But then they get to the whale. And we were...
Yo, that whale.
So the whale, so the sand and buns, it's like, okay, the sunburn they left, she stayed out too long. This whale said, no, I'm the biggest loser on the beach. They buried me in the sand and forgot me.
And he was an old looking whale.
I'm like, wait a minute, bro, what's your backstory?
Right, like, who are you? Like,
who are you in this?
And when did they bury you?
That's what I'm saying.
When did they bury you?
So, I think it was my wife. She said like, oh,
crazy.
Like what this theory, and I was thinking that too. Like this man needs a whole backstory for why did Bikini Bottom bury this whale? Yeah. they had no wanted posters, no
crazy.
missing. He wasn't on a milk carton. It was like
right. He disappeared out of the sand
everywhere. And my wife was like, "What if that's Pearl's real father and Mr. Krabs is the one that buried him?" I was like, oh.
Yo.
Oh man.
What if that is Pearl's dad?
That's a good theory right there.
Like, what if they were friends or whatever, and then they built him they buried him a long time ago, and then Krabs was like, "Shoot, we forgot," and then he just took care of his daughter.
Oh. Because Mr. Krabs is so hungry for money, he literally said, maybe Pearl's mom is out there giving the dad the child support checks. So he hit the whale over the head.
You are
I'm gonna
crazy.
And then he took the checks, and that's a form of income.
Yo, that's crazy.
He's so money hungry, I can see it.
This guy, Mr. Krabs is pulling scams.
It's not the first time.
Right, it isn't.
Do you remember the episode where it was like it's just borrowing all the things he was stealing? When he got to Plankton's lawnmower, I said, why do you even need that?
He stole his lawnmower.
And Plankton's lawnmower.
That joint was tiny.
So it wouldn't surprise me if he pulled a scam like that.
He was pulling scams.
But yeah. All right.
They need the FBI to
Mr. Krabs?
Yeah, because he's just pulling too many scams.
He's over here like paying Bikini Bottom low key. He's just like the cops is just like
literally.
Yo, when we get to the hall monitor episode, we're gonna talk about the Bikini Bottom police and why they're so messed up. They let this hall monitor just don't even get me started on the police of Bikini
Yo, that's funny. They only arrested like 4 people, like their whole
ever.
Yeah.
Whatchamacallit, Mrs. Puff has been in and out of jail so many times.
Oh, I forgot about Puff.
Yeah, she actually, I was looking at the episode list. So on our next upcoming episode, we're going to be doing, I think it's plankton and jellyfishing.
Oh, can't wait.
So those are the 2. But the episode after that is actually the first appearance of Mrs. Puff. So I think if I'm correct, that might be the hall monitor episode. I'm not sure. It might just no, it's the boating episode. So when we get into that, we'll talk Mrs. Puff's backstory.
Okay.
Because I have a whole thing about that.
Yeah.
All right. So until the next episode, this has been Jared.
And this is Keels.
All right. Another episode of Bikini Bottom Banter in the bag.
Let's go.
Thanks for tuning in to another fantastic episode of Bikini Bottom Banter. Don't forget to follow Bikini Bottom Banter on TikTok and Instagram for even more content. Subscribe to them on YouTube and Anchor, plus turn on bell notifications to be updated on their latest episode. And if you've got your own jellyfishing stories or favorite SpongeBob moments, remember to share them with us. You might just hear them on our next episode. So until then, stay bubbly, keep smiling, and remember, subscribe to Bikini Bottom Banter to know all the under the sea.